Hi, welcome to tutorial number 22 for CSCI 130 Introduction to Programming here at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. Today we are working with chapter 9 and we are going to work with the repetition statements that are listed in that chapter, basically the do while loop and the do until loop. Okay. Okay, on section 9.2 in your textbook, they introduce the do while loop repetition statement, and the main goal of this type of statement is basically to repeat a set of statements that are gonna be enclosed by the do while and loop. Like, for example, here in this segment of code, we are defining two variables, product and counter, as integers. Product is being initialized with 7, counter is being initialized with 1. Now, enclosed by the do while and loop, we got product plus equals 7 and counter plus equals 1. That means we are planning on repeating these statements a number of times. How many times? Well, there is a condition in the while. The while it says while variable counter is less than 4. Keep doing it. So initially counter equals 1. So let's illustrate this here. So let's keep track of product, the values of product and counter. So variable product, the initial value is 7 and the initial value for counter is 1, right? Then we go and make a decision right here. It says do while counter less than 4. So we check the value of counter. Is counter less than 4? Well, counter right now is 1. So it is less than 4. Then I'm going to execute this. It says product plus equals 7. So I'm doing this for the first time. So I'm going to be doing this a number of times. So every time that we execute the statements inside the loop, we call that iteration. So I'm going to pull this. This is my first iteration. So in this first iteration, should be a number 1 over here. This first iteration, it says the product we incremented by 7. So now product is 14. And counter we incremented that by 1, so now this is 2, so it's 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, so that ends the first iteration. The only thing that we're doing is incrementing product and incrementing counter. Then the loop takes me back to the do while, and then I check, is counter less than 4? It is, it's 2. Then I'm gonna execute this again. So this will be now my second iteration. Okay, so now product plus 7. So product is 14 plus 7, now it's 21. Counter we incremented plus 1, now it's 3. You see, we're incrementing the value of counter. And this is important because counter is the variable that will help me to make a decision for how long to stay in this loop. So if I don't have anything that changes counter, I'm going to stay looping forever because counter will be always less than 4. So I'm hoping that eventually counter will not be less than 4 and then I stop doing the loop. Okay, so I put in the name of counter because I'm using that as a way of counting. So now this is 3 and then is 3 less than 4? Yes. Then we do it one more time. So now this is 28. Why? Because product is whatever is the old value, we increment 7. Counter now is 4. So this is my third iteration. Now is 4 less than 4? So that's either true or false. So then 4 is not less than 4, then we're not doing this, and then we end with the third iteration. Then the answer, final answer for product is 28. Now let's see this in Visual Basic. So I got already here a form. I just gonna add a label, and a button, and I want to execute this code. So what I'm gonna do is copy this from here, and I'm gonna paste it over here. So these are my variables. Just taking away the extra characters that I have there. Okay, so this is the same code that we were discussing previously. Now I'm not able to see the answer in my label 1, so what I'm gonna do is say, you know what, give me the answer on label 1 dot text, whatever is the value of product. So now we press F5, we click on the button, and then I see the 28, and that's the number that we knew will be executed there. Okay, so the chapter also, I mean, after that they remind us that it's very important that we got something that eventually will make the condition to become false. Like in our case, I say about counter. So here, this statement is incrementing the value of counter. So counter initially got a value of 1. Then I increment it until this is done like 4 times. So this is what is equivalent of doing 7 times 4, because I'm adding 7 to itself 4 times. So this is 7 times 7, 4 times 7, right? 7 times 4. So that will be so that's what we got the answer. So we just need to remember that this is a common error, not to have something that will stop the loop, and this will become an infinite loop. Now they present in section 9.3 something equivalent. That is the one that we do until loop repetition. So it's the same idea. So this is the one. This is our favorite. This is the one that we're gonna be doing. Let's just go and give a quick look to this one. So now I'm having the same variables, but now it says do until counter greater than 4. Okay, so now the difference is that here is once this becomes true, then we stop. So let's see, we can check on this too and see we got the same answers. So again, initially product, oops, I'm sorry. So on this product, I mean, it's initialized to 7, counter to 1, I got that, and then it's counter greater than 4, no, counter is 1, it's not greater than 4. Then we increment counter, so now it's 14. I mean, I'm sorry, product, and then counter we incremented is now 2. So that's my first iteration. I go and check, is counter greater than 4? No, it is 2. So then we increment product and counter. So this is now 21. This is 3. And is 3 greater than 4? No. Then we do here 28, and this is 4 here. Now is 4 greater than 4? No. So we're gonna do this one more time. So this is 35, and this is 5. So this will be my 4th iteration, and the final answer of product here is 35. So let's see if I got this right. So I'm gonna copy this, I'm pasting that over here, and we need to take away that space. We press F5, counter, okay, here I got an additional character since I deleted. So now I'm gonna have F5, then we press the button and we see the 35, and that's what we expected. That was the answer over here. Okay, let's have another example in which we just want to repeat. So in this case we were calculating some type of expression. But let's say that I want to insert on a list box, so I'm gonna have a list box over here. The word hello 5 times. So now here on this button, let's say, okay, I don't need product, I need something to count. I'm gonna do a do while counter less or equal than 5, for example, and then let's say list box 1 dot items dot add hello, then we count, so we don't need that label anymore. There, so I got a counter that starts at 1, and where this is less or equal than 5, we're gonna keep adding on the list box. So let's press F5, then I click on this, and then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hellos. So it's repeating or executing this 5 times. So if I change this for 10, then we'll execute this statement 10 times. Well, actually these two statements, but when we're executing this statement again, we're counting, so we start counting from 1. This will say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need this statement to stop the while loop. If we take that statement away, we won't be able to execute. It will become an infinite loop. Okay, so let's see now we can do it 10 times. So we got F5, and we click, and then if we count all those hellos, it should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then again, whatever is the number that we have here is the number of times that it's going to be executed. Okay, this is it for now. Thank you.